So now let's look at customizing this template. So we have a couple of options here which we have to customize in order to make our changes to this template. So the first area we need to customize is the global. Now the global, there are four options under it. There's typography, there's colors, container, and buttons. So let's take this one after the other. So let's click on typography. Typography relates to the fonts that are used on a website. So this font here, all of this relates to the typography. So let's click on the base typography and see. Now the base typography is related to the font that is used for normal text on the site. So for example, let me change this to something else, oval, so it's still trying to take effect. So you'll notice that the text has changed. The main text of the site has changed, but I think I'm just going to stick with what was there before, which is Open Sans. So basically I'm not going to touch the typography, but you can see what this would actually do. So if you don't like this text, this font style, you can change it using the typography. So that's what these options are for. I'm going to leave the typography the way it is because I think I like these fonts that were chosen for this template. Next we have the headings. So now the headings are the bold texts that are on this entire template. So this is a heading, this is a heading, this is a heading, these are headings. All of these are all headings. So in order to change them, all you simply need to do is change this font family here. But I will not be changing the font family because I like this the way it is. So let's move on to the next setting. So the next setting is colors. So the theme color is blue. I'm going to leave this blue for now. I think the only blue I want to change on this particular template are the blue for the buttons. So I'm going to leave the theme colors the way they are. But when you're building your own website, you can choose to change the colors. It's all left to you. To change the colors, all you simply need to do is just click on the circle, and then you can pick any color and then make your change. And once you've done the change, click on publish. Always remember that whenever you make a change in WordPress, you need to click on publish in order to save it and make that change permanent. So I'm going back to the options. The next is container. Now the container is actually the width of your website. If you want, you can adjust this width, you can reduce the width, you can increase the width, but I think that this width is actually perfect for what we want, so I'm not going to be changing it. So what I actually will be changing is the buttons. So I want these buttons to actually carry a blue color that more or less matches the blue for our brand Layla Dry Cleaners, which we're about to build using this template. So I'm going to click on the buttons now. So I can see that I have two colors here, the main color, which is this color, and then the hover color. So I'm going to change the main color first. So click on this, and then I'm going to select this blue. So now when you select the blue, you notice that the button color has changed. Now it also showed the code for this particular color. This code is called a hexadecimal color code. Hexadecimal meaning it's made up of 6 digits. So color codes, actually, when you're using a hexadecimal color code, it's made up of 6 digits of alphabets A to F or numbers 0 to 9. So when you mix either A to F or 0 to 9 and you have 6 digits of this mixture, it gives you a color code. And color codes always start with a hash. So this is how you know that you've gotten a particular color. Every color has a color code. So I'm going to copy this color code so that wherever I need to use this particular blue color, I will just paste this color code in and it will take effect. So now I've changed the main color of the button. I want to change the hover color. You can see when I hover, it still goes back to the previous blue. So I'm going to change this hover color to a shade of gray. Now the shade of gray I have in mind has a color code of 999999. Okay, so that's, you can see it has changed the color to a shade of gray. Now if I hover over the button, you can see that the button changes to gray. So that's it. Now, in order to make this change permanent all through the entire website, I need to click on the publish button. Okay, so now that is done. So let's move on to the next setting. So we're done with global. So the next setting we need to work on is the header builder. So let's click on that. Now in the header builder area, we have three major things we can change: the logo, the widget area, which is the social media icons, and then the next is the primary menu, which is this menu over here. So let's start with the logo. I've already designed the Layla Dry Cleaners logo in a white color, and also in the main color of the website, which is blue. So I'm going to, in this template, this template allows us to have two shades of logos. So let's see this in action. So click on logo. Now you can see that this particular logo is in black, whereas this is white. So this is one of the shades that this template allows us to have. And if I click here, we see the second shade. So let's change this first. So click on change logo. So from change logo, click on upload files. So you can upload files from your computer, and click select files. So now this is the logo of Layla Dry Cleaners, the normal logo. So I want to click on it and click open, and so I wait for it to upload. So once it finishes uploading, I can just click on the select button. So when I click select, it brings this crop box for me to crop this logo. Now because it's a logo, I want to crop everything, so I just extend the crop box to fit the entire logo and click crop image, and so the logo is displayed here. So this is just one part of the logo. Now let's click on the transparent header so that we can set the other type of logo that this template allows us to do. So you can see this is the white version. Click change image just as you did previously. So now click on the upload files, click select files, and then browse from your computer. Now this is the white version of our logo. I'll click on it and click open. So I wait for it to upload, and then I click choose image. Okay, so there we have it. The logo is now displayed in white. Great. So now I can see that the size of this logo is too large, so I'll just have to reduce it a little bit. Okay, so that is it. It is now reduced. I think I'm okay with this, or maybe I should increase it a bit. You can make it 120 just so that it's a round figure. Beautiful. So now that we've done this, we can click on publish to save our changes and make it permanent. So now let's view this website in a new tab and see if the changes we are making are actually working. So I'm just going to remove all of this now and type layla.netlove.com.ng. So you can see that yes, the changes are actually being effected. The logo is showing here. So let's go to the next item for customization, which is the widget area, which is the social media icons. Now I only want 3 social media icons: Facebook, Twitter, and then Instagram. I want to take out this YouTube and LinkedIn. So what do? I click on the widgets area, click on social profiles. Okay, so these are actually the 4 social media icons. If you click on this to expand, you see this is Facebook. Click on this is Twitter. Click on this is YouTube. Well, I want to choose Instagram now, so I click choose icon and I search for Instagram. Okay, that's Instagram logo right there. So once that is done, I'm going to click on the Instagram logo. Okay, so it's chosen. Now let me hide this again. Now the 4th item, which is the LinkedIn, I don't want this anymore, so I'm just going to click on the delete button and I click OK. So now that I've deleted that, I now need to click on apply. So I've applied, and as you can see, I have 3 icons here. So great. So now when people click on these icons, they will not lead anywhere because no link has been placed in any of these icons. Let us see if this is true. Click on publish. Now if I reload this page, watch here, you notice that the icons actually become what I actually want. But if I click on any of them, it doesn't take me anywhere. It just brings me back to this website. So I want to be able to click on Facebook and go to my Facebook page, click on Twitter, go to my Twitter page, click on Instagram and go to my Instagram page. So now these links are actually supposed to be the social media handles of your brand, but for me, I haven't created any for Layla Dry Cleaners, so I'm just going to use my personal social media handles. So I'm going to open Facebook right now, Facebook, Twitter, and then Instagram. Okay, so now I'm going to copy the URL for Facebook, copy, and I go to the first social media icon, which is here for Facebook, and I paste the link here. Then I'm going to say target open in a new page, because I want, when a user clicks on any of these icons, I want the social media website to open in a new page. I don't want it to open in this same page of this website. So that's done for Facebook. I can close it. Let's copy Twitter, copy, go back to the icon and paste it in the link area. And next I'm going to change the target to new page, so it opens in a new page when clicked. And I'm going to copy Instagram and then go on to paste it for the Instagram, paste it in here. Then now I select the target new page. So we're done with these changes. I click on apply and then I publish it, so it gets saved. Great. So now if I reload my browser and I click on any of these icons, you can see that it's now opening the social media for those particular icons. Great, we're making some good progress here. Now let's move on. So this is the menu. I want to make a change to this menu. I want to change amenities to our services. So let's do that. Go back. So the primary menu, that's the third thing we can edit in the header builder customization area. So click on the primary menu. So now what I'm simply going to do, I'm going to click on configure menu from here, then click on primary menu and edit menu. So once that is done, I can go ahead and change these amenities. I can change it to services, but you have to be careful. Even though, our services, we have to be careful. Even though our services is listed here, if you check the original, it will still take you back to amenities page, and I don't want this to happen. So what do? I can just remove this page and then add a new page. I'm going to create a services page and add it to this list here. So click on add items. So now these are the pages that are currently on the website. There's no services in there, so I'm going to create a new page. So here you type services. Okay, our services rather. You click our services, then you click on add. So once you click on add, you see that our services button shows here. So you can reorder the menu items. You can change the order in which they show. For me, I want the services to show right after about us, so I'm going to drag it to the very top. Now ensure that when dragging, the our services is on the same line, the same dotted line as the rest of the pages. If you shift it in a little bit, it becomes a sub menu. So what am I talking about? Let's take a look at this. Let's publish and see what happens. So you can see I moved my services in a little bit under contact. I moved it in a little bit under contact. So if I reload this page, for instance, okay, it's actually showing. Let's now if you put it this way, you will notice that we have our services now under contact as a drop down. So this is what happens whenever you are creating menu items and you move the menu item a bit under another menu link here. It creates a sub menu. So I don't want it to be a sub menu. I want it to be on the same level as the rest of this menu items. So I'm just going to move it back. Okay, so this is exactly what I want: home, about us, our services, pricing, and contact. so that I can click on publish. So when I reload this page now, check out, you can see I now have all the pages I want. Okay, beautiful. So now that that is done, so that's how you add pages to the menu. So now that we're done with the menu, let's move on. So the next area of customization is the header position, the breadcrumb. Now breadcrumbs are actually navigation links that tell you exactly where you are on your website. So if you visited some website, you see something like you are here, and then you see the location of where you actually are. So if you clicked on home, about us, you would see home/about us, things like that. We will not be using a breadcrumb on this website, so I don't need to make a change here, but you feel free to play around with it and see if it's something that you would like to include in your website. So moving on. So next we go to blog. Now we don't have a blog page, so right now I'm going to leave these settings as they are. We'll create a blog page later on. Now sidebar, now this relates to what you would find in most WordPress websites. Most WordPress websites, they have a sidebar. That's a place on the right here where some things are actually displayed, but this template, we don't have a sidebar. So you can actually create one if you want, but I'll choose not to create a sidebar, so I'm not going to work on that particular option. So next, let's look at the footer builder. So now this is our footer. You can see that we have a couple of items here that we can change. So the first one, let's edit them one after the other. So click on the first one, which is copyright. So you would notice that if you scroll down a bit, this copyright information, this is it right here. Now this is actually a special kind of code that WordPress generates so that it can give you the current year and the name of the website. So you don't need to change this, you can leave them as they are. Let's go to the next setting. The next setting is the HTML. Now you can see powered by here. We don't actually want this, so I'm going to take it out completely and click publish. So for example, if you are a website designer, or if you are designing this for a client, you could decide that okay, you want to put powered by, and then you put your company name right there. That's fine, but I don't want it in this particular website, so that's why I took it out. So let's move on. Next we have the widget 1, which is this area. So you can see that there was actually an image here, but that image is no longer being displayed, so I'm going to just take it out, remove. Okay, so next I'm going to change the font. I'm going to change the text of this to reflect something meaningful with regards to this Layla Dry Cleaners website. So let's click on this. So here I can make my change. So I'm going to say, okay, I think I'm just going to copy some text from here. Okay, copy this text and then paste it. I'm sorry, I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, beautiful. Now, so now copy, you can press Ctrl C, paste, you can press Ctrl V on your laptop to paste. Okay, great. So now I also want to add address to this, so I'm just going to go ahead and type that address 15 Sadiku Way, Victoria, Lagos, and then phone number. Okay, so I have added address and phone number, so I'm just going to make it a bit bold. So I'm going to make it bold like so. Okay, so now it's bold, so now I can just go ahead and click publish. Okay, so let's take a look at what it looks like. Scroll down, so you can see the text has taken effect. So I don't need to make any other change here. Every other thing here, I think I'll just leave them as they are. So let's move on to the next area of customization. So now the menus, we've already sorted out the menus initially here. so I don't think I need to make any change there. Widgets, we don't have anything there. Then home page settings. Now this is the final setting that needs to be done. Now WordPress allows you to create a blog by default very easily, but sometimes you don't want your website to be a blog. You want a website, and you can also need to you can also want a blog. So now we've already configured this website to be a website, but we need a page that will act as a blog page, so that whenever you make any new posts, people get to see it on your blog page. So now we're going to create a new page. We're going to create a blog page and add it here as a posts page. So this is very important. We already have a home page, which is what we are looking at right now. So we need a blog page. So click here, add new page, and then type blog. So now that creates a new page, and then it's displayed here. So this is the blog page. We'll talk about customizing it much later in this video. So for now, just click on publish. That completes the customization for this template. So next thing we're going to do now, we're going to look at editing the individual pages, all of the pages of this website. We're going to look at how to edit them. Okay, but lastly, now we just created a blog page. So I would like to add that blog page to the quick links under the footer area. Now remember, we have footer builder. You can either click there to make the changes, or when you hover, you can see that you can make changes to any of these things. So if I click here now, we have a menu here called primary menu. So now I want to add another link here and add the blog here, so that it will be part of the quick links. Okay, so now let's add the item blog. We already created the blog page, so let's just add it here and see. Okay, you notice that it also added the blog here, and we don't want that. So what do? Let's remove it. We only want the blog to be shown here at the bottom. So what do? We're going to create a secondary menu. So we'll click on secondary menu, then let's remove the primary menu. So this is all we want. We want the secondary menu to show in the quick links, while the primary menu should show at the top here. Okay, great. So click publish. Okay, it appears we've made a little mistake here. You can see that some things are not really showing as they ought to. Let's go back and configure this. So primary menu, we're going to select primary menu here for the top. Okay, so that is back to normal. Then secondary menu, we're going to create a secondary menu now. So click edit. So click edit menu. Okay, I think we need to create a secondary menu. So let's remove this. Go back. So menus. So let's create a new menu. We'll call it secondary menu. Now the reason we're creating the secondary menu is because we want to add it to the quick links. We don't want to use the primary menu anymore here. So now this is a secondary menu, and then it asks us, where do you want this menu to appear? So I'm going to click on secondary menu. So next, so we've just created a secondary menu. So what do we need to do now? Let's add some items we want to show in our secondary menu. So I want the home page. So I'm going to add that home. I want the about page. I want the services page. I want the pricing page, and I want the blog page, which is why we're creating this menu in the first instance. And I want the contact page. So these are the things I want in the secondary menu. So after doing that, now I click publish. Okay, so now we have a secondary menu. Let's scroll to the top and see if there are any changes. Okay, great, no changes. So we go back, and then now we go back to the footer here, or we click here to make this change. So now we're not going to use this primary menu anymore. We're going to be using the secondary menu. Okay, go back. Let's choose footer builder. So let's go back to widget 2. So the widget 2, this is it, quick links. Now our menu is supposed to appear here, so I think that there's a little bit of a problem. So let's go back and try to reload this and see. We're supposed to have the secondary menu appear as part of those menu options. Okay, so now I click on homepage setting. I'm sorry. Let's go back to footer builder, click on widget 2. So now I'm going to click down here and select secondary menu. Okay, beautiful. So now we have what we really want. Now I can click on publish. So now let's go over the steps again of how we actually accomplished this. First of all, we had to go to the menu. We went to the menus and we created a new menu. We called it secondary menu. And then we added what we wanted to the secondary menu. So next, we went back. After creating the secondary menu, we went back to the footer builder and selected the widget where we wanted to apply the secondary menu. So that is done. So I think that the customization for this particular template is now done. So now, just before we close off on this session, there's something here called additional CSS. So now, if you know a bit of web programming like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you want to be able to make changes to this template without using the drag and drop and selection as we have been doing, you just want to write your CSS styles and overwrite what has been done in this template, you can do so right here. You add your additional CSS styles here and click published. But that is not for us. We're not coding anything in this website. We're just going to use WordPress and make our lives a whole lot easier. So, but that's just a side note for those who are already web programmers and they want to make changes to this template using their own CSS styles. You can always add it here and publish it. Okay, so that concludes our session on customizing the templates. So in the next video, we're going to look at changing or customizing each of these pages with the content that we want, and that will help us wrap up this website. All right, so see you in the next video.